On the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show, we're live at the Mornington Race Club for the MP NFL End of Season Awards. We're interviewing all the award winners, so please join us for the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show for a great night. Well, one of our favourites on GameFace is Lee Paholke. Great to catch up with a member of the First Division Team of the Year, Val Hendry. Carl, firstly, I'll talk about the war. Bad luck at the weekend, mate. Tim Bonghetti's in the Team of the Year as well. Welcome, Bongo. Congratulations. Who wins the best and fairest tonight?
And then you'd have to think Robbie Turnbull's going to poll a lot of votes. I know he's probably going to get 6 votes in 2 games he played us, because I reckon he had it 50 times a game. None of our midfielders recognised him. They went nowhere near him, so he'd have to be up.
Why didn't you go on him, Lee?
Oh, mate, I just saw number 7 kicking in their bloody forward line the whole day. I was telling them it's a quarter time. Any danger? They said, who are you talking about?
Well, one of the greats of the competition, 94 games in the AFL, and has been an absolute star for the Pines Footy Club, Aaron Edwards. Congratulations, Aaron. You're in a grand final. You've won the goal kicking as well. Must be really satisfying. The big name in football is Neil Craig, certainly the Mount Eliza Football Club, and they've been named club champion in Division 1 footy. Congratulations to Andrew Luxer of the Edith Vale Aspendale Football Club for winning the reserves best and fairest in Division 1 of the MP NFL. Congratulations, Andrew.
Excited. Yeah, happy. It's just a bit of an honour to win an award.
One man has been, well, around the league for a while, and he's still a young man. What are you, 40, Paul Scanlon? Good to have you with us. Most Valuable Player Award, Paul Scanlon. Age is no barrier from the Pines. Paul, what a year you've had. Is it better than last year?
Oh, look, it's been consistent. Obviously, the coach, the umpires thought it was just as good. So, yeah, like I said up there, it's always nice to win these individual honours.
Well done, James. Congratulations. Bad luck about the weekend. What did you learn from that?
We're going to kick straight. 5-12 in the second half.
Yes.
That's when you're final. So that's what we've got to improve.
And speaking to everyone afterwards, they said it's one of the best games of local footy they've ever seen. So
just before I let you go, you got a cut under your eye. How did that happen, Luke?
Not entirely sure, Dan. I think there might be a bit of vision of it. We might find out a bit more later in the week, I reckon.
And what's it mean to be named in the Team of the Year?
It's humbling every year.
You've been in a few now, haven't you?
Yeah, a couple now. So
good.
Yeah, it's always pretty humbling being named in the best 22 of the league, considering we are such a strong league. So yeah, very humbling. You said you were reasonably confident, but not that confident. How surprised are you?
Oh, shocked. The heart's still racing.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations on being named in Team of the Year, but you've got bigger fish to fry, my man, haven't you?
Yeah, we do that. Look, good honour, but obviously we've got 2 weeks' time, we've got the grand final, so we'll see who wins that. We'll see who wins this weekend and see who we take on. We'll move on from there.
Whoever we do play, it's going to be a challenge, but yeah, I think we're going to use that week off wisely and get some good recovery in.
People that have played in grand finals before, it really means nothing unless you win it. So there's no point being in a grand final if you don't get the victory.
Well, that looked like a fantastic night, Dan. I hope you represented the GameFace crew very well, and obviously you've got around to a lot of people and interviewed a lot of people down on the night.
Oh, Blackers, I had an outstanding time. I was busier than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I reckon I did about 60 to 65 interviews, if not more. They just kept bringing them out, and I just kept interviewing them and asking them the hard-hitted question, whether they be the Netball Player of the Year, Taylor Robertson, whether it be the star player for Edith Vale Aspendale, whether it be the coach of the Edith Vale Aspendale Netball Team of the Year, and we wish all the girls best of luck in the netball grand finals on the weekend. I enjoyed that, but also enjoyed talking to all the footballers.
Well, it
and
sounds like
had a great time.
It sounds like you spoke to more netballers than you did footballers, Dan.
Well, that was no surprise there.
You know, like, Dan, this is a footy show.
Get out, would you? I reckon I spoke to probably 40 footballers and 20 netballers, but it was wonderful the way the girls and also the female footballers that were judged as best players and the best team as well. They all came in. They're all willing to chat. So I really thank them for their support and their cooperation. And I don't think I missed out on anyone.
Oh, there's your phone again, Dan.
It's not even on stage.
Gee whiz, Dan.
Keep going, keep going. It's probably my mum. She always rings at this time. It's absolutely mad. It always rings, doesn't it? That's 5 in a row now. So five in a row.
Dan, did you get around to the sides left in the competition, the Pines, Sorrento and Mount Eliza?
Absolutely. I reckon my strike rate was nearly 100%. I was Dudley Do-Right. He always gets his man.
What about with Pines? Did you get a chance to have a chat with Paddy Swain?
As I say, I got around to as many people as I could get around to, or I got the opportunity to get around to. Let's have a look, particularly at what we did with Pines. It's great to catch up with a member of the First Division Team of the Year, Bo Hendry. Bo, congratulations on being named in Team of the Year, but you've got bigger fish to fry, my man, haven't you?
Yeah, we do that. Look, it's a good honour, but obviously we've got 2 weeks' time, we've got the grand final, so we'll see who wins that. See who wins this weekend and see who we take on. We'll move on from there.
How are you feeling about it? I spoke to you, I think we had a couple of quiet beers after you lost narrowly to Edith Vale Aspendale, and you thought you weren't far away. 7 weeks later, you're that close now, aren't you?
Yeah, we knew we had something special, mate. Like, we knew within our club that we had something special going on. The boys were getting together well, and we were training well, and just the little things kept going right. All our tackle pressure, our pressure's been right up, so it's been good, mate.
Tim Bonghetti's in the Team of the Year as well. Welcome, Bongo. Congratulations. It's been an unbelievable year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
And you must be feeling pretty good about it all.
Yeah, look, people that have played in grand finals before, it really means nothing unless you win it. So there's no point being in a grand final if you don't get the victory. So, yeah.
You think you can?
There are always a chance, you don't make them if you're not a chance. So we've had a good back half of the year, had 8 on the trot.
Yeah.
So going for that 9th.
And your own form this year, you think you've done enough to be in the Team of the Year? Great honour to be named in that team?
It's a great honour, and I'll leave it up to the judges. Yeah.
I'm sort of a bit surreal. I just said a bit forward to the boys, but yeah, look, I knew that we won today. We're playing in the grand final, so if we've won today, we're going to a grand final. But look, the beauty of it is we just got that 2 weeks to prepare. We're pretty level-headed. The supporters are off their heads, but playing group are pretty level-headed, and they'll. We know we've got 4 quarters of real hard footy, and the beauty of it is we've got 2 weeks to prepare for it, so we can't wait.
Hey, that wasn't you with Paddy, that was Sykesy. Is he trying to steal your job?
Oh, well, if he is, he's doing a great job, and I can just feel, the hair at the back of my hair, of what hair I've got left, just starting to get a little bit sweaty, because Brad Sykes did an outstanding job on Sunday. Spoke to Paddy after they won the second semi, but I certainly spoke to Bo after he was named in the Team of the Year, and what was a very, very tense atmosphere when they were getting their photos taken with the Sorrento and Pines boys over, of course, an incident that occurred out on the ground. We'll talk more about that in just a second, and also very good to catch up with Bongo as well, who has done a great job at that football club this year in being named as centre half forward, I should say, in the Team of the Year.
So you got through all those guys at Pines. What about their opponents, Sorrento? Have any luck there? You would have got, obviously, Tapscott with that cut on his face he had, and you also would have had a look at the spiritual leader, Paholke. Did you get a hold of them at all?
Let's have a look. The captain of the Sorrento team, he's in the Team of the Year as well. Well done, James.
Yeah, mate, thank you.
Congratulations. Bad luck about the weekend. What did you learn from that?
We're going to kick straight. 5-12 in the second half.
Yes.
That's when you're final. So that's what we've got to improve. Thought our effort was there. It was a cracking game according to a lot of people we spoke to. So yeah, just got to kick straight, mate.
In general, you thought you played pretty well in patches?
Yeah, I think we did. It was an arm wrestle all day. We obviously jumped them, and then after that, we just sort of couldn't hit the lead. They were always seeming to be like 1 or 2 or 3 goals ahead. But no, look, I was pleased with our efforts. It's just the way we finished.
You said, and you were very honest, their pressure unbelievable.
Yeah, look, their pressure's fantastic. It makes us change the way we want to play, so well done to them. They played super and kept us extremely quiet and unable to play our footy. So credit where credit's due, and hopefully get another crack at them in 2 weeks.
13 points, you weren't too far away. I mean, you kicked 4-8 in the third. Was that the wind or was it poor kicking?
No, poor kicking, 5-12 in the second half. We kicked 12 goals, 5. I suppose it's a different story tonight. We're probably talking about, a week off, but that's footy. Bad kicking's bad football. So, that's part and parcel of it.
Just before I let you go, you got a cut under your eye. How did that happen, Luke?
Not entirely sure, Dan. I think there might be a bit of vision of it. We might find out a bit more later in the week, I reckon.
You're okay, though? Be right to play this week?
Yeah, I'll be no worries.
Pumped up, and you think you can beat Mount Eliza?
Yeah, for sure. The boys are pretty keen. I reckon the whole 22 would have went straight back out and played another game after that. They were pretty annoyed with ourselves to let it slip, but we're right to go on Sunday.
Well, you certainly have got around most people, haven't you, Dan?
Well, I have. I mean, James Hallahan was great. He was named captain in the Team of the Year, which was fair, which I think was fair enough. Luke Paholke, I thank him very much because I did ring him on Sunday just looking for a couple of quotes to write my documents and my summaries, as I so often do, in regard to the weekly reports on the footy for GameFace, and he was good on the interview that we had on the Monday night, because he gave a lot of credit to the pressure that was provided, and we'll talk more about it shortly, by Pines and Luke Tapscott, talking about the cut on the face. Now, can I ask you the question, how serious was it?
It was a reasonable finals interaction, I think. Can we call it that? What about that? It was.
What about confrontation?
Well, his legs were tangled up in Tappy's legs, weren't they? Hulks? Oh, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, well, let's go with that. Let's go with that. We'll do that.
But Tappy's head is the other end of his body compared to his legs, are they not?
Yeah, he was trying to get his leg out.
Well, that's what I think a body is.
He lost balance.
Unintentionally or intentionally?
Unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
Well, I think if you see the atmosphere, and again I'll mention it, the atmosphere that was in the room when they were getting their photo taken, I didn't see it. I didn't see it actually on stage.
You could just feel it, Dan?
But I could feel it. You could cut the air. You could cut the air with a knife. You could cut the air with the knife. It was unbelievable. And I was a bit worried. The big fella Glenn, we know he can go a bit in a very nice way. I think he was starting to perspire profusely, and he thought, I might have to get involved here. And I'm thinking, well, as long as Glenn's here, as long as Troy Callaghan from Coringle's in the room somewhere, Dan Lonergan is as safe as houses. So I was just going to sit back in my comfortable chair and wait for the people to come to me, because I'm the man of the people. They were going to come to me, and I was going to interview all of them.
Did you think that the boxing challenge was going to start early, Dan?
I thought it was. You could tell Bongo was ready to go. You could tell that Bo Hendry was ready to go. And I'm not sure about Leaper Holke, whether he can fight his way out of a paper bag like me, but I reckon he would have jumped in as well. So if they get to play each other in the grand final in a fortnight, because there were spot fires everywhere, I believe, Chris, in the match on the weekend, it'll be unbelievable. But they've got to get past Mount Eliza. The other team still left in First Division.
Who did you get to speak to there, Dan?
Obviously, it would have been Tennant, the captain, and he would have also reeled off Troy Shannon, the coach. You must have got the coach, the president, even Mick Dunn, or...
Well, Mick wasn't that interested in speaking to me, because I would have asked him the question about Cranbourne. He has spoken to me a lot. He knew I would have had a crack. But anyway, let's see what we got from Mount Eliza.
Pretty good victory. You boys are pretty happy?
Yeah, obviously. Disappointing result last week for us, and we earned the double chance during the season proper, and to respond like that was pretty special, as I said, against the reigning champs, four-time premiers. So, all credit. We're a young side, and we turn up to play footy, and we get a chance to get the Frankston Cup. So who knows?
Going into half-time, 3 to 4 goals down, what did you say at half-time to make the boys come out and kick the first 4 themselves?
Look, I think it wasn't so much what I said, mate. This group's pretty resilient. They got a lot of belief, and footy's a funny game. You got to just roll with the punches, and momentum will come your way. And they just dug a little bit harder and worked a little harder, and
I'm joined by Geordie Moncrief, who kicked 7 goals today, 3 of them in the last quarter, very important ones. What do you take away from the win?
Just that the game's never over. I think we just really showed that we could fight back. I think we just weren't happy. We came in at half-time, we weren't happy with our effort in the first half, and we were just able to turn it around, and I think we can just take that confidence in the next game and just put 4 quarters together, and then the group's got a lot of belief. So if we just play 4 quarters, we just don't think anyone can go with us.
Drawn last time you guys went up against YCW, how confident were you going into the game as president?
Well, look, I've got to admit I was very confident early on, but at half-time I can't say that I was all that confident, no. They had us on toast at half-time, but the boys turned it around in that second half.
What's the old saying, boys? The old saying is that as long as you get them, doesn't matter who gets them. I'm a team player, one of the great team players of all time. As long, if I say so myself, as long as you get them, and we're able to get all the Mount Eliza guys. I spoke to Neil Craig, one of their board members, because he came up to...
Assistant coach, I think he is.
Neil Craig is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
assistant coach.
Well, he was delighted to receive the championship award, because, of course, they've finished on top in the under-19s, finished on top in the reserves, even though they got beaten on the weekend, and they've finished top 3 in the under-19s, so they easily won the club championship award, and he said it's been a great year, but we're able to get all the other guys as well. So thanks again to Mount Eliza. We've got a big game of footy coming up on the weekend, of course, the preliminary final against Sorrento. We'll take a break, and be back with the under-19s and reserves from Division 1, looking at the second week of the finals and looking forward to the third week of the finals in Division 1 on the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show. St Andrews Brewery, using the finest ingredients, ensuring each beer is full of flavour and character. Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula magnificently for more than 50 years. For all your garden and building supplies, concrete, soil, sand and mulch, visit Bart and the team at 58 Peninsula Avenue Rye or call 5985 2252 or 5985 2998. This is the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show. Dan Lonigan, Chris Holcomb and Tony Blackford with you. Looking now at the footy from the weekend, second week of the finals. We'll start with the under-19s. In the second semi-final in the under-19s, well, it was going to be a big day for Mount Eliza, you would have thought. They've dominated the under-19s like Red Hill have in the first division. They were looking to go straight through to the grand final. And boys, that's the way it worked out. They won pretty comfortably in the end by 27 points. Yeah. Still the team to beat.
It's a very good game. And Edithvale were not... they weren't unhappy with that because they're getting closer and closer and they've got a good bunch of kids. They want one more crack at them.
Hulks, they were thereabouts, weren't they? You know, they put up a really good challenge and fought really hard. And look, Mount Eliza are the form side, Dan, and on that smaller ground, I really think that helps Edithvale stay in the game. Wait until they get down to Car Street. I think Mount Eliza will show their real worth.
6 goals to 4 in the first half, 6 goals to 4 in the second half. So do you think 27 points is a clear indication of Mount Eliza's dominance over the rest of the comp? Do you think they're a 4 or 5 goal better team than a team like EDS?
Probably more. That's what they've shown during the year, which is why it was good for Edithvale to get so close in that. They're just giving themselves a sniff. But
Hulks, would Edithvale have a few private school kids in their side?
I don't know. It's good. Not as many as Mount Eliza.
No, no.
They've got about 3/4 of their team, aren't they?
But still, they'd have schools up there at Mentone, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would. But I don't know how many they'll get back through. I think they were nearly at a full book on Sunday, so they're hoping to have another crack at them anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Goonan spoke to Brad Sykes after the game. Paul Goonan, of course, being the coach of Mount Eliza, delighted that his team's into the grand final in the first division of the under-19s.
Hey guys, Brad here. We've got Elliot, Bo and the coach Paul from the Mount Eliza under-19s. Start with the coach. How do you sum up today, Paul?
Yeah, thanks, Brad. It was a good, hard, tough game. I think we knew it would be, being that first final here for us. So they bought it on a small ground. It was tough, hard, physical game.
Well, EDS gets another go and they'll be taking on YCW, who they beat in the qualifying final. We know YCW have been a very successful team in the under-19s over the years. Far too good for Mornington, who just got the job done the previous week, Chris, in the elimination final over the Bombers.
They did. They beat them during the year, YC, but they really turned it around on them. I think Mornington, they'd had an issue with some training, so people getting to training during the year. It probably showed at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it was a very good performance by YCW.
It's a good opportunity. Yeah, YC. And once again, I think like YC have had a great junior development program. They've put a lot of things in place that are really correct. And for that reason, I think that they're going to challenge Edithvale, but I don't think that they'll get the job done. I think Edithvale's the form side here.
And talking of YCW, can I congratulate David Patterson, who was named Volunteer of the Year. He's done a lot for that football club.
Good fella.
He's a great fella. Yeah. I mean, they love him down there. Yeah. He loves being down there. So congratulations to David.
And Dan, that's what footy clubs are all about. Yeah. People like that, and you know, for him to be honoured and rewarded for an award like that is outstanding.
He was wrapped too, wasn't he?
He was. And he was a bit emotional, and that's what you like to see. Yeah, so well done, David. Now let's look at the reserves. Now in the second semi in the reserves, Mount Eliza have finished the home and away season on top, and they took on Edithvale Aspendale. This was won probably in the first quarter when they led by 4 goals, with Edithvale very, very good, 5-2 to 1-2. But then they'd fought back nicely, Mount Eliza, to get within 4 points at half-time before Edithvale kicked 3 goals to 1 in the last term to win by 15 points. And boys thoroughly deserve their win.
Bit of a ball over though.
That was as good as any reserves game I've seen
good
for
standard,
years.
Hulks, wasn't it?
It was like a senior game of football from a couple of years ago. And to have a guy like Hewlett play out of the square, and he showed his class deep for that. But they're a really good side, Edithvale, and Mount Eliza were not happy.
Well, we can thank Mark Fitcher too from Edithvale Aspendale, because he led GameFace, the coach of the Edithvale Aspendale Reserves, in post-game to record, and we know that he's a very emotional man, the Fitch. He's a very emotional man, and to record a heartfelt post-game address. Here's what he had to say.
What a fantastic group of people you guys are. From everyone from the back of the door to down there, we've worked just wholeheartedly as a football club to put things in place to give guys like us every opportunity, and all the trainers and everything like that. How hard and the tireless hours that they do, we don't even know about, to get moments like this happen to us. Is just, we thank you guys for everything that you've given us. Frankston Park, we are steamrolling you.
That's just typical of Fitchy, you know, he speaks from the heart, doesn't he, folks? He's a great fella and very passionate person, and well done to those boys to get a chance to challenge whoever comes to them in the grand final.
Great effort.
Well, it'll be either Sorrento or Mount Eliza, because Sorrento beat Seaford, so Seaford bowing out in straight sets. It was a tight game. Sorrento up by 5 points at half-time, and then kicked 3 goals to 2 in the third quarter, and then 2 goals to none. They didn't score in the last quarter, Seaford, and won easily by 29 points. Spoke to Dion Phillips before the game last week, and he just felt the guys were finding form at the right time, and that proved again with a very good second half. So they've won 2 finals in a row. Sorrento, another cutthroat for them in the prelim, but they're in good form.
Yeah, they're going to be hard pressed to get over next week because they've got that Mount Eliza side.
But in saying that, Hulks, they beat Mount Eliza at Mount Eliza in the last home and away game.
Yeah, did they really?
Yeah, they did in the 2s.
Okay, there you go.
Well, here's what Dion Phillips had to say after his team booked a spot in the preliminary final.
I'm joined by the reserves coach, Dion Phillips, who they come away with another win, second box ticked, sluggish conditions.
Yeah, it was. It was wet on the way up, so the ground's in good nick though. It's not a boggy track or anything like that, so it was greasy. The boys adapted well. It's good.
You spoke about it being a grind. What do you think got you guys over the line in the end?
Yeah, it was definitely a grind. They're pretty seasoned, so just our willingness to get the ball forward, our tackle pressure around the footy was really good. We've got a couple of big key forwards too that give a good contest, and we've got some little whippets to go to work. So it was just momentum getting the footy forward. And I mean, that last quarter I think was in our forward 50 pretty much the whole quarter.
One win away from the final dance. There must be some belief within the group now, even more than last week, obviously.
Yeah, there is. There definitely is. There has been probably since the Mount Eliza game there. We sort of had struggled against top 5 sides, and we decided, you know, that was the day. We put a flag in the ground, and you know, we've got a young group with some senior players in it, and keep drumming into them to believe, because you know, we are 2 wins away from what we want to achieve. We're not here to make numbers up, and yeah, really pleased. It was awesome.
Thanks to Matt Plugger-Bodie for speaking to Dion. Did a fantastic job, as did the rest of the GameFace crew with all the interviews over the weekend. Let's take a break, and we'll be back talking some senior footy from the weekend after this on the GameFace Footy Show Division 1. In the best players in the finals in the seniors for First Division after the second week of the finals, Jordan Moncrief of Mount Eliza kicked 7 goals and picked up 6 votes to go to 11. Christian Ongarello, despite his team's loss, was outstanding again in defence for YCW with 6 votes to be 11. Aaron Edwards of Pines kicked 4 to go to 7. Mason DeWitt of Mount Eliza didn't get any, remains on 6. And a number of other players also on 6. Guy Hendry of Pines, Sam Monahan of Edithvale Aspendale with his team out. Paul Minchington of YCW, Nick Corp of Sorrento got 6 votes after a good performance in his team's loss, and Perry Lewis Smith of Pines, his team had a great win to be in the grand final. He also picked up 6 votes. In the reserves, Nick King of YCW remains on 6, Trevor Madison of Sorrento remains on 6, along with Kieran Shaw of Seaford, Darcy Walk of Edithvale Aspendale, and all these players are on 6 votes. Julian Walton of Seaford, Angus Clavin of Sorrento, Josh Curran, after getting 6 votes from Mount Eliza, goes to 6. That's what Angus Clavin did on the weekend. And And Zach Bailey of Edith Vale Aspendale and his team's win to move into the grand final also picked up 6 votes. In the Under-19's Best Players Award in the finals, Jackson Stewart of Edith Vale Aspendale, 5 votes to go to 11. Josh Beringer, YCW, 4 votes to move to 10. Connor Jacoby of Mornington, 3 votes. His team's season is now over. He'll finish on 9. Lachlan Dalziel of YCW, 5 to go to 8. Matthew Maloney of Edith Vale Aspendale, 6. He's on 8. And Caleb Douglas of YCW, also 6 votes to be on 8. Welcome back to the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show, and of course we're looking at the 2 finals that were played on the weekend. Couple of ripping games. YCW Mount Eliza, the first semi-final. I thought at half-time it was all over for Mount Eliza. This young team is going to bow out in straight sets after such a gallant season as the grizzled veterans in finals. YCW were beginning to flex their muscles, but their inability, boys, to kick goals cost them dearly in the second half, and Geordie Moncrief put on a clinic, kicking 7 as Mount Eliza advanced to a prelim.
They were great early, YC, weren't they? And then all of a sudden, at the finals, it could have gone either way. Mount Eliza mightn't have come out after half time, but they showed a lot of character, a lot of spine, which they'd sort of been lacking in finals years gone by.
And especially years gone by, Hulks. They've always,
thrown the towel.
Especially against YC, who have always beaten up on them.
Yeah.
So it's a credit to these young guys, it's a credit to their coaching panel that at half time they juggled a few things around.
Yeah.
And they were able to come out and really turn this game around, Dan. And
because they would have been really nervous. You're right about their poor record. I mean, bowing out in straight sets. They could have been thinking, this is going to happen again. How do we avoid it from happening? Particularly those guys have been there. Wouldn't it? Maybe the under-19 boys were good to have in the team because they hadn't experienced it before.
And the young guys, they're the ones that bring the energy, aren't they?
They do.
They are. Moncrief was unbelievable. He's really stamped himself. He was threatening to kick a bag, but he was sort of a little bit inconsistent with it. But his 7 just set him up, and it was fantastic. Well done, Geordie.
Yeah, terrific performance. So they make their way through to a preliminary final. Looking at the next game, which was an absolute cracker. What a great game of footy it was. The pressure of Pines in the end, too much for Sorrento. Leaper Holke did say to me that their pressure was just too much for us. We couldn't play our footy. It was an unbelievably good game all day. It was 4 goals each in the first quarter. They got away a bit in the second quarter. Pines. Sorrento will look back, and they've said this publicly, 4-8 in the third. They missed some easy shots.
Yeah, they did.
Luke Tapscott said to me at the awards night earlier in the week that in the last quarter we were 11 points down. We missed a couple of gettable shots, could have put us in front, but they still believe they were down by about 20% in the way they play, so they feel they can improve a lot if they get another crack at them.
Yeah, and it was a credit to Pines too. They just kept on coming, and I think that they got their matchups right too. Holtz, didn't they? Like Mitch and James Hallahan really didn't have a big influence on the game, and they were quite quiet. Holtz only had 2 or 3 kicks himself, kicked 1 goal.
Yeah.
Dawes, he kicked that first goal early.
65 out.
Yeah, which was a great goal, but he looked underdone as well.
He hadn't played for a while, had he?
No, not at all.
No, it was Pines' physicality. They come out and they wanted to play like they've been doing for the last 2 months.
They're hungry
and
at the moment.
Telling you, at the moment, they are hungrier than every other side in it. So if you're Mount Eliza and you are Sorrento on the weekend playing a prelim, you have to step up. These blokes are really serious on trying to win a flag.
I thought they weren't far away, and you and I have discussed this, and you said at the time you don't know what you're talking about, and a lot of the time I don't. When Edith Vale Aspendale kicked 14-6 to 12-17, and I thought that day, calling that game, it was a ripping game of footy, and I thought if we get footy like this in the finals, it'll be an outstanding final series. We got it in the second semi. Pines are very good that day, and they're very good for 3 quarters against Mount Eliza, and then they obviously just found a way to get a bit more self-belief and not only beat teams but belt up on teams.
Yes, look, Sorrento have got another yelp in them, but Pines, geez, are impressive. And like I said, Sorrento might have a little bit of more top-end talent, just slightly. Pines have got a lot there, but they've got to find a way to match them physically because Pines, they beat up on them a little bit on the weekend.
Now, the Bo Hendry and Luke Tapscott battle. Luke Tapscott's got obviously a cut under his eye. He had a pretty big scar when he came to the best and fairest night the other night, and Bo Hendry, there's no love lost. I was in the room when the team of the year was going through a photo, and Bo Hendry was in that team. Luke Tapscott was in that team. Leaper Holke was in that team. Bongo was in that team. Mitch Hallahan was in that team. James as well. There was no love lost, and I reckon there'll be no love lost if they meet each other in the second semi, and there'll be no love lost in the crowd either, boys, will there?
No, look,
There was a big following on the weekend, and
there was.
You know, every time the Pines kicked a goal, the crowd went up, and every time Sorrento, there was only a few people supporting them.
That's correct, and it really got the Pines side up. And look, as much as I'd like Mount Eliza to put in a good effort, I really want to see that rematch in that grand final. But I reckon it's going to have a lot of feeling in it, a lot of little spot fires here and there, and I reckon there's going to be a little bit on. Yeah.
Can't wait for the prelim either. We've got to look at that match before we get to a grand final. Now, Nick Boswell, he loves it, doesn't he? He loves playing footy, he loves running, he loves his body. There was a picture taken of him, have a look at this, where he's just he's in the rooms and he's as happy as a pig in mud in those rooms with that great body of his. I wonder what he'll do should they win the premiership. I wonder what he'll do if they happen to win the premiership, because he's quite comfortable with the body that God gave him.
Was that an elephant in the room, Dan?
There might have been an elephant in the room. I'm not too sure about that, Blackers, but I wasn't there. Now, just some stories. Before we go to a break, occurring away, your mate Andrew Murphy at Seaford, I believe, not staying as coach.
Benny Murphy.
Ben Murphy, I should say.
Yeah, no, I haven't spoken to Murph direct, but I know that I think he's informed the players.
I thought he committed halfway through the year, or he'd committed to 2 years. Is that true?
Yeah, he did. And hearing the information, not through Ben firsthand, was that family commitments has sort of got a little bit stronger, young family. And those.
Is he older or younger than Robert?
Older, slightly, I think.
Okay,
Let's go with that.
Yeah,
let's go with that. But no, he's a ripper. And just to say, if it is the case, then in a couple of years, if he gets itchy feet again, every Peninsula side would want to ring this guy. He's a ripping coach. Well done, Murph, on the years that he had at Seaford.
Yeah, he's done a good job with them. Looks like they might go down to second division, of course.
And Dan, Adrian McBean was at the...
yeah, he was. It was good to catch up with Adrian. He's a lovely fella. He's going to be a loss to the competition, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's been here for 2 years, and we didn't know much about him, but gee, he's a nice fella. He really did.
He's not a human headline like the guy following him, though.
No, do you think he'll go being back at Rosebud? Do you think it's the right decision?
Oh, look, we talked about it a while ago. They're all pretty positive with it, so good luck to them.
But they're going to be positive publicly, aren't they? They're not going to say we've got the wrong man when they've chosen him far out from the end of the season.
Dan, my belief is, or my understanding is, that the players really wanted him. They really are right behind him. I think Nick is the right person for the job. He will really inject a bit of energy into that group, and he will go out and recruit.
He needs to, because they are probably the next cab off the rank that you would think be low lying. Yeah. They had some great kids, but they just need some more top end talent.
It'll be interesting how they go, because he's also coached Sorrento as well, whether he decides to pillage Sorrento, which won't please Sorrento too much, but we'll watch that space.
Now, if you're taking too many, thanks buddy.
Now, if I can also mention about the fact that Rosebud are going to replace their president. Lockie White is one of the nicest blokes you'd want to meet. He's been wonderful for that football club. He's done a great job to get the new change rooms up and about, which will be ready for the start of the season next year. The Whale, Brett McRae's going to take over as coach. Will that be a good combination, Blackers?
As president,
with Nick Jewell as coach and Brett McRae as the president?
Yeah, well, Brett, he's done the job before. He's been at the club for a long time. In 1991, Dan, were able to beat Rosebud in a grand final, and Whale was the ruckman then, and so he's been around that club for a long time. His young boy plays there. He's invested in the club.
Is it Whale because he looks a bit like Brian Roberts, the late great Brian Roberts?
Yeah, big strong fella.
He looks like a whale.
Yeah.
Does he? He looks like a whale.
He is a big whale.
Big man.
Yeah. So, but you know, when anyone who puts their hand up to be the president, you've got to give them credit. You know, like it's a tireless, thankless job. And that's what it is.
Now, can I ask you about Simon Goosey? Have you kissed and made up regarding some comments you made about him?
I find it funny because I don't comment. You guys know I don't comment on Mornington much. And Goose, I said last week that he hadn't played many kids, or not as many that I'd played.
6 kids this year, didn't he?
5.
Let's hear what he said, and then we'll come back to you.
Count back in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, well, interesting comments. I mean, you've kissed and made up, I take it?
Me and Goose are fine. We've played in premierships together. We see each other all the time. I've seen him 3 times since. But like I said, all I said was that he hadn't played as many kids as we'd played the year before. He played 5 this year, which is great, and I played 10 the year before. But who really cares? I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything how many kids you play. It's not a pissing contest, is it? So,
well, do you think he didn't play as many because he wanted to make sure that they were a bit more competitive in the under-19s, knowing that they probably couldn't play seniors finals because of all the injuries early days?
He might know that I didn't have the kids in the 19s to push through. He had more depth through his seconds. He might have been happier with his senior league. I don't know, because I wasn't involved, but that's all I said. So
Dan,
that was about it.
Goose loves blooding kids.
I know.
You know, he loves blooding kids, and he's all about.
Look at the record he had at Frankster with those players that went to AFL clubs,
and at Cranbourne and all that sort of stuff.
Doing a great
so he
job
would play. If they're ready to play senior football, they will play senior 100%.
Football. 100%. So we weren't saying that. We said that.
Talking of Cranbourne, I've heard a bit of a rumour. He coached them to the premiership in the SEFNL in 2016.
Yes.
About a big fellow playing full forward for them next year.
I heard that too.
Mark Holt.
Yeah, I heard a whisper. Not through Mornington people. No. But yeah, and I heard a whisper through that.
Because if Cranbourne aren't going to come in, which I don't think they will.
No.
There certainly would be some people.
It doesn't look like they'll get into the outer east either, which means they may have to go to another league where there's a fair bit of travelling.
Yeah.
They could lose
some of the blokes might want to go and play under Goose again.
I love this time of year when you hear all the ins and outs.
We're going to hear a lot of rumours, and we'll be certainly keeping our ear close to the ground on GameFace. We'll be back with more shortly. And we'll have the big winners from the MP NFL League Best and Fairest on the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show in the lead up to the prelim final. In the Division 1 goal kicking table, after 2 rounds of the finals, there are 2 players on 10 goals. Aaron Edwards of Pines, who kicked 4, and Geordie Moncrief of Mount Eliza, who kicked 7. And Pines into the grand final, and Mount Eliza into the preliminary final, so they're still alive. YCW season is over, so Paul Minchington will finish on 5, no goals on the weekend, and 3 players on 3, all from Pines. Paul Scanlon, Aaron Ludovic and Tim Bongetti. They all kick 1 in their team's great win to progress to a grand final. In the reserves, Heath Cameron of Sorrento, 1 goal to be on 5. Liam Hewlett, the former AFL listed player with Melbourne, kicked 5 for Edith Vale Aspendale as they advanced to a grand final. Angus Clavin of Sorrento didn't kick any on the weekend, he remains on 4. Same with Campbell Ack of Edith Vale Aspendale on 3, Darcy Walker of Edith Vale Aspendale on 3, and Josh Ezzy of Sorrento kicked 3 to move to 3. In the under-19s, Josh O'Toole of YCW had 2 outstanding finals matches. He's on 11, kicked 4 on the weekend after 7 the first week. 7 in front of Sam Hart of Edith Vale Aspendale, kicked 1 to go to 4. And his Edith Vale Aspendale teammate Ryan Francis, who's on 4. And another Edith Vale Aspendale player, Reece Orchard, who's on 3. This is the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show, our preliminary final edition. As mentioned, we had a great night at the MP NFL Awards night. It was a magnificent night for 2018. It was an inviting only. Yeah, I did. I reckon I did 60 interviews. Do you want me to tell you? No, I haven't got enough time for me to tell you exactly who I spoke to. I spoke to everyone but Donald Trump and Barack Obama, and they weren't there. So I reckon I spoke to everyone in the room. Let's start with the under-19s. Josh Berringer, he was best and fairest. We spoke to him beforehand. We spoke to him afterwards. A fantastic performance by Josh Berringer of YCW.
And that's a Kenny Lyons medal, mate.
Kenny
Lyons.
Joshy Berringer joining us. Good on you, Josh. I did speak to you, of course, before the vote count tonight, and you said you were reasonably confident, but not that confident. How surprised are you?
Oh, shocked. The heart's still racing.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's full on. I mean, I just come here thinking I'd get in the top 5 and, I don't know, just go home, I suppose. But, getting this award, it's a good achievement, I suppose.
Does it put more pressure on you to perform in the prelim on Saturday?
Yeah, I guess, but, no, I mean, I'm trying to keep a lid on it. I'm trying to just play as best as I can, and that's shown. So, hopefully keep the form up.
Excellent. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the night, and good luck on the weekend.
Cheers,
Thanks, Josh.
Get your game face on.
Andrew Luxer won the reserves from Edith Vale Aspendale. Had a quick chat to him as well after his victory. Well, congratulations to Andrew Luxer of the Edith Vale Aspendale Football Club for winning the reserves best and fairest in Division 1 of the MP NFL. Congratulations, Andrew. Were you expecting that when you arrived here tonight?
No, not at all. No, didn't think it'd happen. No, but pretty happy, and yeah, it's been a good year. Yeah.
Could be the double for you. Got the grand final in a couple of weeks.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, it's all. We're pretty happy.
You must have been happy with the way they played on the weekend against Mount Eliza, who were probably the favourites, weren't they, in the second semi?
Yeah, they've been a good club for a long time, in the twos especially. So yeah, we came in thinking we were a chance, but we didn't think we'd win as we did. Yeah, I think we got up to 5 or 6 goals up at one stage. So.
Well, we spoke to him a couple of minutes ago after he won the MVP Most Valuable Player Award in the MPNFL for First Division. He's now won the Best and Fairest, the EV Shade Medal for the second year in a row. Paul Scanlon, age is no barrier from the Pines. Paul, what a year you've had. Is it better than last year?
Oh, look, it's been consistent. Obviously, the coach, the umpires thought it was just as good. So, yeah, like I said up there, it's always nice to win these individual honours. And like I said, we've got a big grand final coming up in a couple of weeks. And just that'll be definitely the one that I want to be winning, more importantly.
It'll be the perfect season for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be great. Like, we've been involved with the club now for 3 years, and the club haven't won one since the 90s, and it'll be a real big. I'm looking forward to the grand final. So.
What do you like most about the club? I mean, obviously they seem like a great bunch of blokes that stick together, work very well together. Has that been one of the keys, do you think?
I think it is. We've got a few young guys as well that have really bought in, and the club are we've just got a real special bond at the moment, and I reckon that's been real evident in the last probably 6 to 12 weeks, and we've just really come together real well, and I think it's shown in our results. We've won 6 or 7 in a row, and we're obviously playing off in a grand final, and that's all that it takes is just our just the bond, I reckon.
And has Paddy made you a better player, do you think, Paddy Swain?
Yeah, and Paddy's probably done that in regards to he's real. He loves his job, and he gives him my leeway to obviously I can't train like I used to. I'm a little bit older, so it takes me a good week to recover. So and the club have been really great with giving me my time away from the club to prepare myself for the next week. So he's been great.
Congratulations, you've won 2 in a row, and you said you're coming back to try and win 3 in a row next year, but most importantly, grand final in a fortnight. Good luck, Paul. Congratulations. Well done again.
Get your game face on.
And back to back for the 40-year-old who lives in Ivanhoe, my neck of the woods. I didn't know that you travelled all the way down from Ivanhoe to Frankston.
41,
Paul Scanlon.
41.
Is he 41 now?
Yep.
He's going to play again next year. He's won back-to-back medals, shade medals for the best player in the competition in the seniors. Paul Scanlon, he won by 3 votes. Did he deserve to win?
Most well-prepared footballer I think I've ever seen in my life. He's unbelievable, he is, Chewy. And he had a great year. He stands out. He wins contested ball, flat out. He's a ripping bloke. He deserved it thoroughly.
He's outstanding.
Yeah.
Like a 41 Hulks, wouldn't you know? He's a brick, isn't he?
He's played 700 or 800 games because he plays in Darwin every summer.
Does he really?
Yeah. Why do you reckon he gets that beautiful tan about him?
He's only been at Pines for 3 years, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's up at country and places, but cracking.
Excellent
effort.
Very good. Now, the winner of the best player in the SCW Football League, which is the South East Women's Football League, was Emily Wallace of Cranbourne. Had a lovely chat to her, and congratulations to the winner of the netball in the A grade in First Division, Christina Vickery of Edith Vale, Aspendale. Yeah, is that right?
Ty's sister? No, I just made it up.
Oh, did you? Thank you very much for that. Well, she was also named Wing Defence in the Team of the Year, did an outstanding job, and they're, of course, going for their 5th flag in a row in the A grade against Sorrento. And you can go to the GameFace app to have a look at all those interviews that we did at the MPNFL Awards at the Mornington Race Club on Monday night. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with the tips for the 3 matches in First Division in the preliminary final on the weekend on the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show.
White Merchant from Youth Real Estate, selling real estate, born, bred and passionate.
This is the Division 1 Footy Show for GameFace, lead up to the preliminary final. Boys, we haven't got a lot of time, but let's quickly go through the winners in the preliminary final on Sunday. Under 19s, Edie Asp against YCW.
Yeah, Edith Vale looked good on the weekend against Mount Eliza. Closest anyone's ever been to them, I think, this year. So let's go with Edith Vale.
Yeah, look, I think Edith Vale, they were right in that game, Hulks, and I reckon if a little bit of luck gone their way, they could have snuck that game in.
I think YCW might be able to get the job done. They know how to play in grand finals in both seniors, even though they didn't get there this year. A lot of things went wrong, but I think the under-19s have been pretty good again, so I'll go for YCW. Reserves, Mount Eliza and Sorrento. Now, Mount Eliza have been very good for a long time. Yeah. Sorrento back-to-back wins to get as far as a prelim. Can they make it 3 in a row and move into a grand final?
No, I don't think this will be too close. I think Mount Eliza will bounce back hard here, and we'll see one of the best reserves grand finals we've seen in a long time between Mount Eliza and Edithvale. So I think Mount Eliza.
And in the seniors, the same two teams, Sorrento and Mount Eliza. Mount Eliza a great second half last week. Thought Sorrento a little bit below their best, but it was a cracking match. Who wins?
Look, I'll say Sorrento by 3 points. I think they sort of didn't fire their best shot last week. Mount Eliza have been terrific. I think it's going to be a terrific game, but part of me wants to see that rematch Sorrento Pines because that's going to be on.
Hey, Hobbs, they've played each other twice.
Yep.
It's been 10 points or less on both occasions. The last time they played, Mount Eliza were all over Sorrento, and then in the last quarter, the Hallahans, Tapscott, and Polkey really lifted, and they were able to turn the game around. But for 3 quarters,
Mount Eliza had them,
and they didn't put scoreboard pressure on them.
No,
I think that the Mount Eliza side would be a better side at this stage, wouldn't it?
Oh, no doubt, but I still think Sorrento have got a little bit more class. So I think Sorrento. What about you, Blake? As you sat in the fence there, you've told us all about what could happen in the game. You haven't given us a tip.
Yeah, I think Mount Eliza, a couple of their VFL players would be available.
Yep. A tip, Blake?
I'm tipping Mount Eliza in a close one.
Oh, thank God for that.
We got it out.
Tip for the flag, boys. I said Sorrento. Sorrento will win. Yeah, I said Sorrento will win. I think they'll win quite comfortably. Tip for the flag, Pines. Yeah, Pines have been great.
I think everyone.
The only issue I've got is will the week off.
I think it'll help.
It'll help Pines.
You think it'll help?
They got the older
I think
bodies.
that they will.
But Frankston VFL ground might not.
No, but Hulks with a week off.
Yep.
Could help them.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Mount Eliza and Sorrento, that Car Street suits them.
Yeah.
And Sorrento didn't fire their best shot. Pines were unbelievable. It's so hard.
I think most people would love to see Pines Football Club and Paddy Swain hold that cup up.
Will you tip? You're just sitting on the fence. So you want Pines? You think Pines will win? You want them to win? You think they'll win? You think Sorrento will win? So Sorrento for Chris. I went Pines. It took me one word, boys. One word, Pines. P-I-N-E-S to win the flag. And Blake, as usual, went around the Cape 150 million times like he does on his boat when he's going fishing. But he has picked Pines to win. Thank you, boys. We're looking forward to it. Back for the grand final edition of GameFace, which will be at the Frankston RSL. We look forward to your company. And GameFace will be everywhere this weekend for the Second Division Grand Final and the First Division Preliminary Final in the MP NFL. Have a great weekend of footy, everyone.